Take me down to the fighting end. Wash the poison from off my skin. Show me how to be whole again. Fly me up on a silver wave, past the black where the sirens sing. Warm me up in the nova's glow, and drop me down to the dream below. 'Cause I'm only a crack in this castle of glass. Hardly anything there for you to see, for you to see. Bring me home in a blinding dream, through the secrets that I've seen. Wash the sorrow from off my skin, and show me how to be whole again. 'Cause I'm only a crack in this castle of glass. Hardly anything there for you to see, for you to see. Crack in this castle of glass. Hardly anything else I need to be. 'Cause I'm only a crack in this castle of glass. Hardly anything there for you to see. I dreamed I was missing. You were so scared, but no one would listen, 'cause no one else cared. After my dreaming, I woke with this fear. What am I leaving when I'm done here? So if you're asking me, I want you to know, when my time comes, forget the one that I my time comes, forget the wrong that I've done. Help me leave behind some reasons to be missed. Don't resent me, and when you're feeling empty, keep me in your memory. Leave out all the rest. Leave out all the rest. Forgetting all the hurt inside you've learned to hide so well. Pretending someone else can come and save me from myself. I can't be who you are. I can't be who you are. All driving with their hands. Never gonna be another one, no. I followed, so taken, so conditioned I could never let go. Then sorrow, then sickness, then the shock when you flip it on me. So hollow, so vicious, so afraid I couldn't let myself see that I could never be held back or up, no, or hold myself. Check the rep, yep, you know my well. Forget the rest, let them know my hell. There and back, yet my soul ain't sell. Kept respect up, the best they fell. Let the rest be the tale they tell that I was there saying. Test my heart, let me tell you how the odds gonna stack up. Yeah, I go hard, I go smart. How's that working out for y'all in the back, huh? I've seen that frustration, been crossed and lost and told no. And I've come back unshaken, let down and lived and let go. So you can let it be known, I don't hold back, I hold my own. I can't be mapped, I can't be cloned. I can't see flat, it ain't my tone. I can't fall back, I came too far. Hold myself up and love my scars. Let the bells ring wherever they are, cause I was there saying. These promises broken. uncertainty. So let mercy come and wash away what I've done. I'll face myself to cross out what I've become, erase myself and let go of what I start again, and whatever pain may come, today this ends. I'm forgiving what I've done. I'll face myself to cross out what I've become, erase myself and let go of what I've lied to you the same way that I always do. This is the last smile that I'll fake for the sake of being with you.
Everything falls apart, even the people who never frown eventually break down.
The sacrifice of fighting in the light.
Everything has to end, you'll soon find we're out of time left to watch it all
The
unwind.
sacrifice is never knowing why I never walked away, why I played myself this way. Now I see you're testing me, pushes me away. Why I never walked away, why I played myself this way. Now I see you're testing me, pushes me away. I've tried like you to do everything you wanted to. This is the last time I'll take the blame for the sake of being with you.
Everything falls apart, even the people who never frown eventually break down.
The sacrifice of fighting in the light.
Everything has to end, you'll soon find we're out of time left to watch it all
The
unwind.
sacrifice is never knowing why I never walked away, why I played myself this way. Now I see you're testing me, pushes me away. myself again. My walls are closing in.
Without a sense of confidence, I'm convinced that there's just too much pressure to take.
I felt this way before, so insecure. Crawling in my skin, these wounds, they will not heal. Fear is how I fall, confusing what is real. Discomfort endlessly has pulled itself upon me, distracting, reacting. Against my will I stand beside my own reflection. It's haunting how I can't seem to find myself again. My walls are closing in.
Without a sense of confidence, I'm convinced that there's just too much pressure to take.
I felt this way before, so insecure. It starts with
One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away. It's so unreal. Didn't look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on to didn't even know or wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to be will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard
and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to remind myself how I tried so hard. In spite of the way you were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property, remembering all the times you fought with me, I'm surprised it got so. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard
and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I've put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I've put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you cannot take this anymore. Saying everything I've said before. All these words, they make no sense. I find bliss in ignorance. Less I hear, the less you say. You'll find that out anyway. Just like before. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to breathe, 'cause I'm one step closer to the edge. I'm about to break. I find the answers aren't so clear. Wish I could find a way to disappear. All these thoughts, they make no sense. I found bliss in ignorance. Nothing seems to go away. Over and over again. Just like before. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to breathe, 'cause I'm one step closer to the edge. I'm about to break. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to breathe, 'cause I'm one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. Shut up when I'm talking to you. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up when I'm talking to you. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I'm about to break. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to breathe, 'cause I'm one step closer to the edge. I'm about to break. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to breathe, 'cause I'm one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. Why does it feel like night today? Something in here's not right today. Why am I so uptight today? Paranoia is all I got left. I don't know what stressed me first and how the pressure was fed, but I know just what it feels like to have a voice in the back of my head, like a face that I hold inside, face that awakes when I close my eyes, face that I watch every time I lie, face that laughs every time I fall. So I know that when it's time to sink or swim, the face inside is hearing me right underneath my skin. It's like a paranoid looking over my back. It's like a whirlwind inside of my head. It's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's like the face inside is right beneath my skin. I know I've got a face in me, points out all my mistakes to me. You got a face on the inside too. Your paranoia is probably worse. I don't know what set me on first, but I know what I can't stand. Everybody acts, the fact of the matter is I can't add up to what you can. But everybody has a face that they hold inside, face that awakes when I close my eyes, face that watches every time they lie, face that laughs every time they fall. So you know that when it's time to sink or swim, that the face inside is watching you too, right inside your skin. It's like I'm paranoid looking over my back. It's like a whirlwind inside of my head. It's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's like the face inside is right beneath the skin. It's like I'm paranoid looking over my back. It's like a whirlwind inside of my head. It's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's like the face inside is right beneath my skin. The face inside is right beneath the skin. The face inside is right beneath the skin.
Forfeit the game before somebody else takes you out of the frame and put your name to shame, cover up your face. You can't run the race, the pace is too fast, it just won't last.
You love the way I look at you while taking pleasure in the awful things you put me through. You take away if I give in. My life, my pride is broken. You like to think you're never wrong. You live what you love. You have to act like you're someone. You live what you love. You want someone to have like you. You live what you love. You wanna share what you've been from. You live what you love. You love the things I say I'll do. The way I hurt myself again just to get back at you. You take away when I give in. My life, my pride is broken. You like to think you're never wrong. You live what you love. You have to act like you're someone. You live what you love. You want someone to have like you. You live what you love. You wanna share what you've been through. You live what you love.
Forfeit the game before somebody else takes you out of the frame. Put your name to shame, cover up your face. You can't run the race, the pace is too fast, you just won't last. Forfeit the game before somebody else takes you out of the frame. Put your name to shame, cover up your face. You can't run the race, the pace is too fast, you just won't last.
You like to think you're never wrong. You live what you love. You have to act like you're someone. You live what you love. You want someone to have like you. You live what you love. You wanna share what you've been through. You live what you love. You like to think you're never wrong. You live what you love. You have to act like you're someone. You live what you love. You want someone to have like you. You live what you love. You wanna share what you've been through. You live what you love. Graffiti decorations under a sky of dust. A constant wave of tension on top of broken trust. The lessons that you taught me, I learned were never true. Now I find myself in question.
They point the finger at me again.
Guilty by association.
You point the finger at me again.
I wanna run away, never say goodbye. I wanna know the truth instead of wondering why. I wanna know the answers, no more lies. I wanna shut the door and open up my mind. Paper bags and angry voices under a sky of dust. Another wave of tension has more than filled me up. On my talk of taking action, these words were never true. Now I find myself in question.
They point the finger at me again.
Guilty by association.
You point the finger at me again.
I wanna run away, never say goodbye. I wanna know the truth instead of wondering why. I wanna know the answers, to stay away from me. Sometimes I'm in disbelief, I didn't know. Somehow I need you to go. Don't stay. Forget our memories, forget our possibilities. What you were changing me into, just giving myself back and don't stay. Forget our memories, forget our possibilities. Take all your faithlessness with you, just giving myself back and don't stay. Sometimes I feel like I trusted you too well. Sometimes I just feel like screaming at myself. Sometimes I'm in disbelief, I didn't know. Somehow I need to be alone. Forget our memories, forget our possibilities. What you were changing me into, just giving myself back and don't stay. Forget our memories, forget our possibilities. Take all your faithlessness with you, just giving myself back and don't stay. I don't need you anymore. I don't want to be ignored. I don't need one more day of you wasting me away. I don't need you anymore. I don't want to be ignored. I don't need one more day of you wasting me away. With no apology, don't stay. Forget our memories, forget our possibilities. What you were changing me into, just giving myself back and don't stay. Forget our memories, forget our possibilities. Take all your faithlessness with you, just giving myself back and don't stay. Don't stay. Don't stay.
A little bit of loneliness, a little bit of disregard, handful of complaints, but I can't help the fact that everyone can see these scars. I am what I want you to want, what I want you to feel, but it's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you to just believe this is real. So let go, I'm watching you, turn your back like you always do, face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here cause you're all that I got.
I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. Time won't change this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored.
A little bit insecure, a little unconfident, cause you don't understand to do what I can, but sometimes I don't make sense. I am what you never want to say, but I've never had a doubt. It's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you for once just to hear me out. So let go, watching you, turn your back like you always do, face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here cause you're all that I got.
I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. Time won't change this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. No, hear me out now. You're gonna listen to me like it or not. Right now, hear me out now. You're gonna listen to me
thoughts and the pain attached to them. Sometimes I wonder why this is happening. It's like nothing I can do would distract me when I think of how I shot myself in the back again. Cause from the infinite words I can say, I put all the pain you gave to me on display, but didn't realize instead of setting it free, I took what I hated and made it a part of me. Never goes away, never goes away. And now you become a part of me. You'll always be right here. You become a part of me. You'll always be my fear. I can't separate myself from what I've done. Giving up a part of me. I've let myself become you. Hearing your name, the memories come back again. I remember when it started happening. I'd see you in every thought I had, and then the thoughts slowly found words attached to them. And I knew as they escaped away, I was committing myself to them. And every day I regret saying those things, cause now I see that I took what I hated and made it a part of me. Never goes away, never goes away. And now you become a part of me. You'll always be right here. You become a part of me. You'll always be my fear. I can't separate myself from what I've done. Giving up a part of me. I've let myself become you. Never goes away, never goes away. It never goes away, it never goes away. Get away from me. Give me my space back, you gotta just everything comes down to memories of I kept it in, but now I'm letting you I let you go, so get away from me. Give me my space back, you gotta just everything comes down to memories of I kept it in, but now I'm letting you I let you go. You become a part of me. You'll always be right here. You become a part of me. You'll always be my fear. I can't separate myself from what I've done. Giving up a part of me. I've let myself become you. Alright, let's do this, people, come on! Pretend everything is what I want it to be. I look exactly like what you had always wanted to see. I can't forget about the criminal I am, stealing second after second just cause I know I can. But I can't pretend this is the way it'll stay. I'm just
trying to bend the truth.
I can't pretend I'm who you want me to be, so I'm
lying my way from
Nah, no turning back now.
I wanna be pushed aside, so let me go.
No turning back now.
Let me take back my life. I'd rather be all alone.
No turning back now.
Anywhere on my own, cause I can say
Nah, no turning back now.
the very worst part of you is me.
I remember what they taught to me. Remember condescending talk of who I ought to be. Remember listening to all of that and this again. So I pretended up a person who was fitting in. And now you think this person really is me. And I'm
Trying to bend the truth.
but the more I push, the more I'm pulling away. Cause I'm
Lying my way from you.
Nah, no turning back
I
now.
wanna be pushed aside, so let me go.
Nah, no turning back now.
Let me take back my life. I'd rather be all alone.
No turning back now.
Anywhere on my own, cause I can say
Nah, no turning back
the
now.
very worst part of you. The very worst part of you. Yes,
This isn't what I wanted to be. I never thought that what I said would have you running for me like this. This isn't what I wanted to be. I never thought that what I said would have you running for me like this. This isn't what I wanted to be. I never thought that what I said would have you running for me like this. This isn't what I wanted to be. I never thought that what I said would have you running for me like this. No turning back
I
now.
wanna be pushed aside, so let me go.
Nah, no turning back now.
Let me take back my life. I'd rather be all alone.
No turning back now.
Anywhere on my own, cause I can say
Nah, no turning back
the
now.
very worst part of you. The very worst part of you is me.
Thank you.
You guys are looking good today.
Tired of being what you want me to be, feeling so faithless.
say, and I'd get lost in the nothingness inside of me.
I was confused,
and I let it all out to find that I'm not the only person with these things in mind.
inside of me.
But all the vacancy the words revealed is the only real thing that I've got left to feel.
Nothing to lose.
Just stuck, hollow and alone, and the fault is my own, and the fault is my own. I wanna heal, I wanna feel what I thought was never real. I wanna let go of the pain I felt so long. Erase all the pain till it's gone. I wanna heal, I wanna feel like I'm close to something real. I wanna find something I wanted all along, somewhere I belong. And I've got nothing to say, I can't believe I didn't fall right down on my face.
I was confused,
Looking everywhere, only to find that it's not the way I had imagined it all in my mind.
so what am
What do I have but negativity? Cause I can't justify the way everyone is looking at me.
Nothing to lose.
Nothing to gain, hollow and alone, and the fault is my own, and the fault is my own. I wanna heal, I wanna feel what I thought was never real. I wanna let go of the pain I felt so long. Erase all the pain till it's gone. I wanna heal, I wanna feel like I'm close to something real. I wanna find something I wanted all along, somewhere I belong. I will never know myself until I do this on my own, and I will never feel anything else until my wounds are healed. I will never make anything till I break away from me. I will break away, I'll find myself today. I wanna heal, I wanna feel what I thought was never real. I wanna let go of the pain I felt so long. Erase all the pain till it's gone. I wanna heal, I wanna feel like I'm close to something real. I wanna find something I wanted all along, somewhere I belong. I wanna heal, I wanna feel like I'm somewhere I belong. I wanna heal, I wanna feel like I'm somewhere I belong. Somewhere I belong.
I want to see the biggest pit I've ever seen. That way we've got it on camera and everything. This whole section right now, if you don't want to be in the pit, you better get out. You better tell the dude with the camera that he's right in the middle of the pit, because this thing is going to be 50 feet long. All of you, if you don't want to be in the pit, get out right now. You ready? You ready? Yes, y'all. This is how we're gonna do this.
I watch how the moon sits in the sky in the dark night, shining with the light from the sun. Sun doesn't give light to the moon, assuming the moon's gonna owe me one. Makes me think of when you act to me, you do favors it rapidly. Just turn around and start asking me about things that you want back from me. I'm sick of the tension, sick of the hunger, sick of you and the look I owe you, bitch. Find another place to reach your greed, we'll find a place to rest.
I wanna be in another place. I hate when you say you don't understand.
We'll see it's not meant to be.
I wanna be in the energy, not with the enemy.
from you guys is we need you to help us out with this next part. And all you need to do is say the words "go away." We got that up top? We got that up top? People on the floor, we clear? Do it like this.
You try to take the best of me. Go away. You try to take the best of me. Go away. Try to take the best of me. Go away. Yeah. Try to take the best of me. Go away.